रन्ध्रान् वेणुरदरसुदया पूरयन् गोपवृन्दे वृन्दारण्यं स्वपदरमणं प्राविशत् गीतकीर्तिः इति वेणुरवं राजन् सर्वभूतमनोहरं श्रुत्वा व्रजस्त्रियः सर्वा वर्णयन्तोभिरेभिरे श्रीगोप्यौचु अक्षणवतां फलमिदं न परं विदामः सख्य पशूननु विवशयतो वर्यस्ये वक्त्रं व्रजसुतयोरनुवेणुजुष्टम् येवां निपितम् अनुरक्तकटाक्षमोक्षम् च्यूतप्रवालभः सबकोक्तलाब्ज मालानुपृक्तपरिधानविचित्रवेषो मध्ये विरजतुरलं पशुपालगोष्ठ्यां रङ्गे यथा नटवरो क्वच गायमानो गोप्य किमाचरदयं कुशलं स्म वेणु दामोदराधरसुधामपि गोपिकानां भुक्ते स्वयं यदवसिष्ठरसंरदिन्यो हर्ष्यन्त्वचोश्रुमुमुचु सर्वो यथार्याः वृन्दावनं सखिभुवो वितनोति कीर्तिं ह्यद्देवकी सुतपदाम्बुजलब्धलक्ष्मी गोविन्दवेणुमनुमत्तमयूरनृत्यं प्रेक्षादृशान् वरतान्य समस्तसत्त्वम् धन्यास्ममुडगतयोऽपि हरिण्येता यानन्दनन्दन उपात विचित्रवेषम् आकर्ण्यवेणुरणितं सह कृष्णसाराः पूजां ददु विरचितां प्रणयावलोके कृष्णं निरीक्ष्य वनितोत्सवरूपशीलम् श्रुत्वा च त्वत्त्वनितवेणुविविक्तगीतम् देव्यो विमानगतय स्मरनूनुसारा पश्यत्प्रसूनकबरा मुमुहु विनिर्व्यः गावश्च कृष्णमुखनिर्गितवेणुगीत पीयूषम् उत भीतकर्णपुटे पिबन्त्यः शावास्नुतस्तनपयकबला स्मतस्थु गोविन्दमात्मनि दृशाश्रुकलास्पृशनन्त्यः प्रायोवताम्बविहगामुनयो वनेऽस्मिन् कृष्णे क्षितं तदुदितं कलवेणुगीतम् आरुहये द्रुमभुजान् रुचिरप्रवालान् शृण्वन्ति मीलितदृशो विगतान् व्याचः नदयस्तदा तत् उपधार्य मुकुन्दगीतम् आवर्तलक्षितमनोभवभग्नवेगः आलिङ्गनं स्थगितम् ऊर्मिभुजे मुरारे गृह्णन्ति पादयुगलं कमलोपहारा दृष्ट्वा तपे व्रजपशून् सह रामगोपे सञ्चारयन्तम् अनुवेणुमुदीरयन्तम् प्रेम प्रवृत्त उदित कुसुमावलीभिः सख्युव्यथा स्वपुषाम्बुदातपत्रम् पूर्णा पुलिङ्ग उरुगाय पदाब्जराग श्रीकङ्कुमेन दयितासनमण्डितेन तद्दर्शन स्मररूजतृणरूषितेन लिम्पन्त्याननकुचेषु जुहुस्तदाधिम् हन्ताय मध्रीरबला हरिदासवर्यो यद्रामकृष्णचरणस्पर्श प्रमोदः मानं तनोति सह गोगणयोस्ततो यत् पानीयसूयवसकन्दर कन्दमूलैः गागोपकेरनुवनं नयतोरुदार वेणुस्वने कल्पदेस्तनुभृत्सु सख्यः अस्पन्दनं गतिमतां पुलकस्तरूणां नियोगपाशकृतलक्षणयो विचित्रम् एवं विदा भगवतो या वृन्दावनचारिणः वर्णयन्तो इथो गोप्य क्रीडास्तन्मयतां ययुः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय हो, सर्व गोपी गोपांगा की जय हो। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Now I am reciting the Shila Baldeva Bhushan Pranam Mantra. गोविंद देवदयितं परमार्थपूर्णम् विद्वत्स्वहो जयपुरे जयभूषितं वे न्यायश्रुतिस्मृतिविवादसमोर्ध्वहीनम् वेदान्तरिक्तबलदेवयतिं नमामि। I offer my humble obeisances unto the great sage Srila Baldeva Vidyabhushan Ji, being very dear to Lord Govind Ji and surcharged with the transcendental knowledge. He became decorated with victory in the assembly of learned scholars in Jaipur. What a wonder! Nobody was equal or superior to him in debates on the Shruti, Smriti or Nyaya, for he possessed the treasure of fully knowing the conclusion of all Vedic scriptures. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हो। हरे कृष्णा। दंडवत प्रणाम टू ऑल डिवोटीज। थैंक यू प्रभु जी फॉर सो वंडरफुल सेवा। दंडवत प्रणाम।
Well, thank you, Bhataji. So beautifully sang. Good. It's very good. It's really beautiful. Thank you so much.
दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Now, to this session, I welcome everybody, all the devotees. Before we start, let me offer invocation prayers. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति सुपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं त्वजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशा कल्पतरुभ्य च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्य वैष्णवेभ्य नमो नमः। Now I will offer my obeisances to the Panchatattva Sambandha Avideya and Provisional deities. पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं जयतां सुरतोपंगर्मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बुजौ राधामदनमोहनौ दिव्याद् बृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमः श्रीमद्रत्नाङ्गरसिंहासनस्थितौ श्रीमद् राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवौ पृष्ठालीनि सेव्यमानं स्मरामि श्रीमान रासरसारंभी वंशीवटतटस्थित कर्सन वेणुस्वनैर्गोपीर गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्तुनः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। Now I will offer my obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने घोरतिसे नमः। O most beneficent incarnation, you are Krishna himself appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. we offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopang Ostra Parsadam Yagya Sankirtana Praye Rejajanti Sumedasa. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Nana Shastra Vicharana Nipunam Sadharma Samstapako Lokanam Hitakarinam Tribhuvane Manya Saranya Karo Radha Krishna Padaravinda Vajanan Anandena Mattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugo Sri Jiva Gopalako. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Raghunatha Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the divine couple, Sri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे. Once again, I welcome all the devotees to the today's session. Now, today we'll study lessons 17 and 18. But before that, let us have a recap of the previous lesson, lesson 16, which was covered last weekend, day 3.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, dear all. Wishing you all a happy event of Rath Yatra ongoing, and thank you, Raksha Mataji. So wonderful Kirtan, and all of you. Hare Krishna again. So, as Prabhuji said, I will be helping with revision of Adhikarna 6, which is Akshara is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The chapter notes or slides here are prepared by His Grace Chandra Prabhu, and this was conducted by Her Grace Archana Mataji last week. Right? So let's go through. Here, the first Mataji told us about the difference between Shara and Akshara, referring to the Bhagavad Gita chapter, I think 13 or 16, I don't remember, but that's how she taught us.
15,
15, yeah,
Prabhuji.
so 15, yeah, Purushottam Yoga, right, correct. So, revising that, can someone tell me what is Shara and Akshara, and how is the position of Krishna? What is the position of the Lord? Is it one of these or different?
Shara means conditions all bound by material three modes of nature, Sattva, Raja and Tamaguna.
Correct.
And Akshara is unconditioned soul with the eternal spiritual.
Yes.
And that is regarded as superior, and it is found in the spiritual realm. That is Krishna. And Krishna as Purushottam, you are asking that also, probably?
Yes. What is the position of Krishna as compared to Shara Akshara?
He transcends both the categories, Shara and Akshara, both the categories, and he's the ultimate source of existence.
Correct. Absolutely correct, Mataji. So Shara is those who... Yes, please add.
So just to add again, so as Mataji explained, Shara and Akshara and Purushottam, there's no question. He is the source of both. Kshara and Akshara, and he's a transcendental. So both are Jiva, Kshara and Akshara, but one is infallible, remains whether in transcendental world or comes, but he never falls down. Another's like us, we are Kshara, we fall down. But we can also go back. So both are spiritual. But one spiritual, we have potential to fall down, another doesn't have potential to fall down. That is the major difference also.
Okay, let's me ask a bit more, probably, just curiosity. So the Lord has three energies, right? Internal, marginal, external. The Shara, Akshara are which one?
Marginal.
Tatashta.
Where both are jiva. Sorry, tatast. Yes.
Tatashta. Yes.
Yeah, that's marginal. Yes.
Marginal.
Yeah.
So being Tatashta Sakti, we can connect with internal or external. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then, can this be anytime? Can it become internal energy? Or it will always remain Tatashta? What do you think?
Internally is a totally different. Yeah.
Yes, when we connect with the Lord, when we start our spiritual journey, then we become
We become connected, but we never become
Connected.
the internal. So we are
Internal,
connected. So
yes.
we always Tatashta.
Then we can be internal. We connect with the internal potency.
Connect
of
with the
Lord.
internal. Yeah.
Yes.
I just thought of adding a bit more. So this is all. And then the scriptures like Brahma Samhita Mataji taught us, they also clarify that even Brahman emanates from Krishna. Okay. Continuing.
What is the further components of internal potency?
Some with energy, Ahladini
Sandhini,
energy,
yeah.
and Sandhini energy.
Samvit Ladani.
External energy has a, Sachida, we call mode of Sadguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, whereas in spiritual, we have Sandhini, Ladini, and Samvit. These are three.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, where was I? Now, here, one second, we should. Yeah, before coming, I thought I will just read this sutra. Adrishtvadi gunako dharmokti. Right, so that's the sutra we are studying, 1 to 21. Okay, and the translation is who possesses many transcendental qualities, including invisibility, because his qualities are described. Right. Then the previous one was that this is continuing of the theme that Supreme Personality of Godhead is Akshara, and that we will through the slides and the text we will conclude, right? But before that, Shamshaya. Okay. The doubt is the formless is eternal. Oh, sorry, that's the doubt is that. Sorry, I'm getting a bit. Yeah. So Samshaya, let us understand the point of view from Purva Paksha. Samshaya, Purva Paksha. Right. So Samshaya is, it is the opposition to that. And then Purva Paksha, that is the antithesis or a strong point. I am asking the question and answering as well, right? So the point of view from the Purva Paksha is, this is referring to Pradhana as a source of creation. And it is also explaining the interpretation of word yoni as an impersonal, right? So that's the antithesis or Purva Paksha argument that Pradhana is source of creation because everything is coming from Pradhana, and yoni is actually impersonal. Okay. Actually, there's a question I wanted to ask, but I answered myself. But do you want to add more to it?
Yeah. Let's see. It starts with three things are identified: Jiva and issue, then Lord, right? So Jiva, we also Akshara and Kshara. Also, in between comes the Pradhana, because why Pradhana is coming here? It is a mention formless and eternal. So there, that is where one of the Upanishad talks about the Pradhana. So again, one more variable has come. So Pradhana, Jiva, and Supreme Personality God. So three things are there, and we have to work through that. And that is where the Purva Paksha is talking about yoni. That means it's talking about characteristics of that is the source of everything, right? So that is where the yoni, and in this case, yoni is referred as the pradhana, like pradhana, that means for material creation, it's coming from pradhana. This is believed to be from Purva Paksha, antithesis, they believe.
That is the
So,
argument.
correct. That's the meaning of that, yes. And that's where the yoni word is coming.
So now,
further clarification,
Yeah.
yoni literally means the birth canal from which everything, like we are born from mother's womb, So yoni means what it transmits. It's the source of everything, That's
Correct.
what it is.
correct. Yeah. So now we will go through.
So you see the Purva Paksha, difference between Samshaya and Purva Paksha. Samshaya means it will just raise doubts, but does not say this way or that way, okay? It'll point out the issue. A issue means the Vishaya, and this part or that part. But Purva Paksha would really present the complete antithesis, means the complete opposite of what is going to be proven, okay? And Purva Pakshis really will present persuasive arguments in favor of, even though it is antithesis, And the Siddhanta will actually then explain why the Purva Pakshis are wrong. Okay? And their quotations also could be misinterpretations. That. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So this
now
trend will continue all the way to the lesson 106, okay? So that's the reason why I want to make it sure you understand this introduction like that,
Yes. Okay.
So here the problem comes, Prabhuji, if everybody understand this here also, Panduk Upanishad, Supreme as a formless, because this is where is all three sutras are talking about. So formless and eternal, then if that is the Lord, but what it talks about the Pradhana is it's not a formless, right? That's what it talks about. So these two things are, further distinguished as we go forward.
Now, Brahman, as it is defined as the formless, attributeless, but just the previous slide, you see in the previous slide, Brahman is also coming from Bhagavan Shri Krishna. That's his Brahma Jyoti, and Brahman, as we progressed more and more deeper and deeper into this Govinda Bhasya, you understand Brahman is not really formless. Antaryami, Bhagavan, all these are the parts of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Wonderful. Now moving ahead. So let's see the next point of discussion here. So here now we were talking about invisibility. So what does this invisibility signify, and how does it prove? Like, how does it expand on characteristics of the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
This invisibility signifies the form which is beyond the material existence.
Correct. Correct. So that is when they say Nirakar, it doesn't mean it doesn't have material or this akar which is controlled or in control of Sattva Tamogun, like Prabhuji said. It is beyond that, it is transcendent. And that's what is the characteristics of Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is omniscience as well, indicating that he has complete knowledge and he is beyond the mere understanding. And as we said, he is the controller of both Shara and Akshara. And here are the verses we covered, which is backing up that the scriptural support for this statement. Right? So that is the explanation that of the Nirakar aspect over here. Right? That's how we went. Then now next slide 6 here. Now, how is, in this context, how is Akshara finally established as Supreme Personality of Godhead?
So this is the second sutra we are talking about, right?
Yes.
So
Oh,
1
yes,
to
yes.
22.
So, no,
You want to
1 to
read that, Prabhuji?
Oh, yes,
Somebody
yes.
will read.
Yes. So, yeah,
You
probably
can
you want
read
to
the
read?
translation at least. Translation.
Yeah. So, okay. So the translation is because of the description of the qualities of the akshara, these two, akshara and akshara cannot be the other two. Pradhana, Jivatma. So here Pradhana, Jivatma, and Supreme Personality Godhead. Three are compared.
So you noted that the Purvapakshis were in favor of, and very deductively they prove. I mean, apparently they're showing a logical argument in favor of Pradhana and Jivatman. Now the Siddhanta is going to disprove that and saying why these two cannot be there.
Yeah.
So what is the argument against that?
The
Did you
qualities that
understand?
define the akshara. Yeah.
Yeah, what is the main argument against that?
Pradhana is a material cause. So material cause is again fallible, right? So that is what
Wonderful,
there.
wonderful.
That is the crux of that.
Exactly. Thank you.
And Akshara is
I like
beyond the
very
three
much
modes
here.
of material nature.
So you have to understand the way Shri Radha Vinod Prabhuji explaining. We need to understand a deeper aspect of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Raksha Mataji, you were saying something?
No, I say Supreme Personality of Godhead transcends both this Pradhana and that.
No, he doesn't. But he's the source of them. But he does not possess. He's not like that Akshara fallible, but he is the source of those Aksharas also, and he is the source of Kshara also. We are Kshara fallible, and we are coming from him. That's what it is.
Yes,
But
yes,
he is not fallible. He's always Achyuta. Sanskrit word is called Achyuta.
Akshara soul has a limited quality. His quality is similar, but his Akshara soul is limited, finite. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead is unlimited.
No, Akshara is really meaning is infallible.
Infallible, yes.
Infallible. So why is now proving what? Why is Pradhana should not be? Why is the Jivatman is not should be? Just now, a few minutes ago, Radha Vinod Prabhuji explained very clearly about that. So I want you to understand that. Radha Vinod Prabhuji, please explain again why these two Purvapaksha arguments are refuted here.
Yeah, so we are talking about here. If you look at Jivatma, it's can be Akshara, but Lord is also Akshara. But out of these two, which is the supreme? That's one part. Pradhana is false because it has material qualities, so it cannot be Akshara. So that is what Pradhana is there. Now Jivatman, if you look at that, this is what it said, the specific modifier uniqueness affirming Akshara original cause. So Akshar, the Lord is the cause of both. This is the here a comparison, distinction is made. He is the cause of Pradhana as well as the Jiva. So supremacy is there. So that is why the word Akshara, because some of the qualities of Akshara, that Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is a omniscient, he is a transcendent. All these qualities are there. Now with those qualities, those attributes, we have to judge Pradhana as well as Jiva. That's how we differentiate, right? Because that's what distinction is found here. And with that categories, we are seeing that Jiva cannot be that, Pradhana cannot be there.
Very good. Very good, Prabhuji. Very good.
Prabhuji, Supreme Personality of Godhead governs Jiva as well as this Shara or Akshara. But Akshara is not equal to Supreme Personality of God, because it is governed by the Akshara, by the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
No, he's
But
beyond the
we have to
difference between that. Here, let me explain you.
Yeah.
See, Jivas, if you consider a spiritual form, we are spiritual entities, right? So spiritual form, we are infallible. But we have this material body that's called Jivatman. Jivatman means embodied, material body. But material body is fallible. So that is the reason. Whereas Lord is Akshara, means he is never ever fallible. He does not have material body. He has spiritual body. So from the very definition of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that by that definition, as Prabhuji just described very nicely, that the Jivatman and Pradhana cannot be there.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
I think, Mother, where you have confusion, the Lord is also Akshara. He never falls down. There are the unconditional souls are there also. They are also Akshara. But Aksharas, the conditioned soul, he's a Jiva, ultimately Jiva. You know, he is not a totally independent. He is not omniscient. All those qualities are not it. So even though he's Akshara, but Ishvara, the Supreme Person of God, he's Akshara. There's a comparison between them. One is a source, that is the Supreme Personality Godhead of Akshara. Those are unconditional souls living in the spiritual world. They are in majority. Same, but Lord is the Lord. Right? That again differentiation.
Very good. Very good.
Yes.
Prabhuji,
Jivatma is unconditioned soul, governed by mode of material nature.
Prabhuji, how Lord is Khyara? He is both.
Akshara. He's Akshara,
No,
not
he is
Kshara.
Akshara.
Yes.
Both, it is written that he is both. Khyara and
No,
Akshara.
he's not. That's the problem. We keep repeating the same self. Supreme Personality is not Kshara. Kshara means fallible. He's never
Yes,
fallible.
he is Akshara.
Jivatma,
That I
Jivatma,
understand.
because it has that material body that is fallible, but he is the source of everyone.
Yes, Prabhuji.
See,
But
that's why one wonders how could somebody who is not, and yet he could be the source. Can somebody explain that? How he himself is never a fallible entity, right? Fallible personality, but he is the source. So how could it be source? Because normally when you think about it, how could somebody could be a source of something if he
Because
himself
he
doesn't?
is transcendental.
So the attributes we are looking at that only that Ishvara, Supreme Personality God, has those attributes, right?
He is unlimited.
full of
Unlimited
knowledge, formless,
quality.
and from him is born Brahman. That is why is Akshara.
भगवान की जो क्वालिटी है वो जीवात्मा को कभी नहीं हो सकती प्रभु जी.
They are minute. If at all, they are in minute.
But he is still the source of it, right?
Yes.
So it is like this. A government represents a particular nation, right? And government is the source of all the living and all the citizens, everybody. Now, some of the citizens could not be following the rules and regulations, even though they belong to the particular nation, okay? But nation is not responsible for that. I'm just giving a practical example. How could be a source of something that he does not have that? A source of something like fallibility that is there. How could he be source of that if he's not there? But here just I guess give a practical example. Just because somebody Akshara, that citizen could be there, but he is the nation itself cannot be like that. I'm just giving a practical example.
Part and parcel of that, part and parcel.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Everything comes from him.
Some of the qualities are lacking in Jivatma. That are seen in Supreme Personality.
Here we can say free will. Because of free will.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to.
The quality of something that is fallible, that's coming from him, but he himself is never that.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, let's move on.
Yep, that was wonderful discussion. Let's continue. Then slide 7. Now here, that's the next verse 1 to 23. And the translation is, and also because there is a mention of a form. So here the highlight is that Akshara possesses a recognition form essential for identifying as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, the question I have from this slide is, how does one become free from sinful reaction? Let's answer that first and then the second part follows. How will one become free from sinful reaction? And the second part to that is, how does that establish that God is a person?
So he has a form, and when one meditates on his golden colored form, one gets free from the sinful reaction.
Correct. So that's a refuting argument or explanation from Mundaka Upanishad, that how one becomes free, and that's also adds to it that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has a form. Okay? And that form is spiritual, not linking to the original. Not linking to the material. Right? Okay. Anything else to add here? Prabhuji?
The scriptural references prove that he has a form, and they are mentioned over here from Mandukya Upanishad and Brahma Samhita.
In Brahma, Ishvara Param Krishna, Sachidananda. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, here also one word, form, is, the 23rd Sutra talks about form. Previously it's a formless and all that, but here they are talking of form also. So again, one of the Upanishad talks about that form.
Correct. And
It
that's
doesn't
again,
contradict, but also substantiate.
correct. Okay. Going to the second last slide. Then here, the next verse 24, translation is, the Akshara here must be Supreme Personality of Godhead because of the context. So it contextually confirms that Akshara is no one but Supreme Personality of Godhead. So my question to you is, what is the superior knowledge?
Divine
The one
knowledge.
that the one that leads to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Knowledge.
And that is our goal, right? And that's how we establishes that contextually here, Akshara is referring to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay.
So
And
here
then
also
By
we
doing
see,
the devotional services, by doing the loving devotional services is the goal of Vedic wisdom.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
yeah, so it
Radhavani.
talks about differentiate between different types of knowledge. Vedas also talks of different, right? It talks about karma kanda, gyan kanda, and all that. So one is the lower, talks about material, but the highest that talks about the Lord. So we are taking that as a parameter here, that so that the highest knowledge leads one to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? Because somebody can say the knowledge is a knowledge. No, knowledge is also different types of knowledge. Right? One who liberates you, that is the ultimate knowledge. That is the goal of Vedic wisdom, right?
Knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is superior knowledge.
But Vedas talk about different categories of knowledge. That's what is mentioned. Differentiate between types of knowledges, right? Different types of knowledges.
And even in Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, right, that there are three categories of knowledge. With the with the clear goal here is that we are talking about the paro or highest form of knowledge.
Yes. We have to transcend these three guna.
Yes.
Three guna Visaya Veda.
Correct. That's also.
Yes. Here.
Okay, moving on to the last slide. So now, this finally is the analysis slide, the final summary. So I will just ask one question and then we can hand over to Prabhuji. How are knowledge and liberation linked here?
The knowledge should be there that we have to attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If that knowledge is already not there, then how will we endeavor in that direction? So hence it is related.
Once we
get the knowledge, Prabhuji, transcendental knowledge, we can able to discriminate ourselves that we are not this body, we are soul. So then we can proceed further with that knowledge. transcendental knowledge.
So word very nicely used, progression. See, you have to mark these words, right? Progression. That means we start somewhere lower knowledge, as somewhere we begin. All material we see as impermanent, like gradually you go up and up, right? And then go to the superior knowledge. So this also, which takes us to the liberation, para knowledge.
Other words is vidya and avidya.
Perfect. Okay, with that, we complete the summary. So we concluded again, referring to wonderful sessions from Mataji, that Akshara is Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Okay, with that,
Thank
let's
you,
hand over
Prabhuji.
to
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Sanjeev Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank
Thank you,
you
Sanjeev
also,
Prabhuji. Wonderful.
Hare Krishna,
Vidya
Prabhuji.
Seva.
Thank you.
Radha Vinod
Dandavat
Prabhuji,
pranam.
thank you also.
Wonderful.
Explaining nicely. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Prabhuji.
Thank everybody for participating in the discussion. Now we'll see a very, very interesting thing tomorrow in the today in the class. Now today our class is the lessons 17 and 18, and both are from Adhikarna 7. And the sutras which will be covered, there are 25 to 29 in lesson 17 and 30 to 33 in 18. That means from 25 to 33 we will be covering. And what is the Adhikarana? Adhikarana 7. Vaishvanara is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, my question in the very beginning, you have also studied the Bhagavad Gita, this word Vaishvanara comes. What do you understand by Vaishvanara?
This is the Agni.
जठराग्नि जिसको बोल सकते हैं हिंदी में, जो खाना पचाती है, that digesting.
Okay, I'll give the complete answer. In the Vedas, it is Agni or the god of fire. But at higher level, it refers to specifically to the cosmic fire that sustains all life and humanity. And in Bhagavad Gita, what is that sloka? It says, Aham Vaishvanara Bhutva Praninam Deham Asrita Pranapana Samayukta Pachamyannam Chaturvidham. I am the fire of digestion in the bodies of all living entities, and I join with the life air, outgoing and incoming, to digest the 4 kinds of food. First we said Agni, second we said digestive fire. Then in Upanishad, especially in the Mandukya Upanishad, defines Vaishvanara as the first of the 4 states of consciousness. It represents the Jagrat state, that is the waking state, where the individual self is outwardly cognitive and interacts with the material world. Now we saw 3 meanings. And in this Vedanta Sutra, it says Vaishvanara is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We will go in very great detail, and it will be understood why he is not Agni, why Vaishvanara is not the digestive fire, why it is not the Jagrata state, but it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That means this word Vaishvanara is ambiguous, because ultimately what we are saying is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, how we can say that, we'll go into detail, but in very brief, it is mentioned in the Shastras, and this is given in the Smriti Shastra. If one argues that Vaishvanara is not Lord Vishnu or Hari or the Supreme Lord, because he is described as fire as residing within the body, this will not be true. And it is described in this way for the purpose of meditation. We touched this point earlier, and in very great detail I will be discussing about this. You just hear these sentences and we'll go into the details. Therefore, what we have come to the conclusion, it is not possible to interpret Vaishvanara in any other way other than he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And furthermore, he is described as a person. He has got a human-like form. And for these reasons, what I have spoken, Vaishvanara is not the demigod and not the element of fire. Now, in very many places, we will see, like Jaimini Rishi, he is of the opinion that Agni may be interpreted to directly mean the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is also there. And other rishis, they also confirm that the Lord is described as being this size simply for meditative purposes. This meaning we will see in detail. Okay, I'll go to the next. If you understand this slide, then you will understand the whole thing, subject matter at all, that is given in the lesson 17 and 18. Okay, we'll go one by one. As we know, these Vedic things, that is Adhikarna, they are understood in 4 stages: Vishaya, Samsaya, Purvapaksha, and Siddhanta. Vishaya is thesis statement, or what is the subject matter it is talking about, and Samsaya is doubt, genuine doubt, and Purvapaksha, antithesis, it is the opposite party, what it says, and Siddhanta, what Vyasadeva says. We'll go one by one in great detail. Now, the first point, Vishaya of the thesis statement. The 5 scholars turn to Udalka, who points them to Aswapati for insights on Vaishvanara. Aswapati was a king, Rajarshi. Vaishvanara identified as the supreme person. And from this perspective, the different names and forms of worship represent various aspects of this ultimate reality. Now, let us try to understand this. I'll take some time. And if you understand this, then you will understand the whole thing. Now, what happened once there were 5 great sages. What are the names? One was Prachina Sala, the son of Upamanyu. Then the second was Satyagyana, the son of Pulasa. Then the third was Indradimna, the son of Vallabha. And fourth, Jana, the son of Sarkaraksha. And Budila, the son of Aswastara. Now, these 5 great scholars, they once met and held a discussion amongst themselves, and they came to the conclusion that they have not understood who is ourself. The Lord is to be worshipped, and what is Brahman? This was the question. Now, they concluded that we should go to Udalka, the son of Aruna. He is also known as Udalka Aruni, because he knows Atma and he knows all the Shastras, and he'll be able to answer our question, what is called Vaishvanara. Let us go to him. So they went to him. And please remember, this Udalka, he was he's a very famous rishi, and his famous disciples we have studied about Yagyapalka, who in Yajurveda, the Sukla Yajurveda portion is assigned to him only. Then Nachiketa, his story we heard, he was also a student of him. Now, when they went to Udalka, he thought these great people, the scholars, they will ask me the questions, but what will happen if I am not able to answer them? Therefore, I should send them to another teacher. Then he told them, please go to Aswapati, the king of Kaikeya, and he knows Atma, and he will be able to tell you what is Vaishvanara. So all these 5, they decided to, all these 5 plus Udalka, 6 of them, they went to Ashwapati. Now, when they arrived, the king, he honored them, paid them great respect. And then in the morning, after leaving his bed, he then asked them, "What makes you come here?" He asked them, "Why you have come here? And are you troubled by some bad people here in my kingdom?" But I think there is no such people in my kingdom. There is no thief, no miser, no drunkard, no irreligious person, no illiterate person. And when he asked them, "If you want wealth, then stay here. I am going to perform a sacrifice and I will give you whatever you want." Now, then they replied that we have not come to take wealth, but we want to know who is the supreme person, Vaishvanara. Please tell us about him. Now, then he said to them, "I shall give you the answer tomorrow." Then they went to him again the next morning with sacrificial fuel in their hands and without ceremony. Ashwapati, he addressed to each of them, "Please, and please hear very, very carefully. Then you will understand the very meaning of this." Now, the first person to whom he addressed, he was Anupamanya. Now, he says, "Under what circumstance, under what name do you worship the Lord Vaishvanara?" Now, he replied that I worship the Vaishvanara as Dew, that is heaven. Then Aswati said, "Then the Lord Vaishvanara that you worship is called Sujetas. Therefore, in your house there are sons, grandsons, great-grandsons. Therefore, you eat well and healthy and you are prosperous. You have got so many possessions. And whosoever worships Lord Vaishvanara, he becomes healthy, prosperous, and the Vedic glory resides with him. But this Dew is only the head of the Lord. So your head would have fallen. That is, you should have you would have been defeated in a discussion if you had not come to me." This he told. Then he addressed the second person, Satyagyana. He said, "Under what name do you worship Vaishvanara?" He replied as Aditya, the Lord in the sun and attracting all. Then Aswati said, "The Lord Vaishvanara that you worship is called Vishwarupa, the all-seeing. Therefore, in your house is seen much and many different kinds of wealth, and there are chariots, there are mules, there are slaves, there are jewels, and you are therefore healthy and prosperous." And he said, "Whosoever worships Lord Vaishvanara becomes healthy and prosperous, and Vedic glory resides in his house. And that Aditya, however, is but the eye of the Lord. You would have become blind if you had not come to see me." You see what he is saying? The sun is the eye of the Lord. Sun is not the Lord. Then he addressed the third person, Indradimna. He said, "Under what name do you worship the Lord Vaishvanara?" He replied as Vayu, the Lord in Vayu, called knowledge, life. And then Aswapati said, "The Lord Vaishvanara that you worship is Prathagavartma, that is the unusual or the mysterious. Therefore, it is quite unusual, and in your possession there are rows of chariots who follow you. Therefore, you are healthy and prosperous. And whosoever worships Lord Vaishvanara becomes healthy and prosperous, and Vedic glory resides in his house. But this Vayu is but the breath of the Lord. He is not the Supreme Lord. Therefore, your breath would have left you if you had not come here." Then the fourth person, he addressed Jana. He said, "Under what name do you worship Vaishvanara?" Then he replied as Akasa. Now then Aswati said that Lord Vaishvanara that you worship is called Bahula. Bahula means abundant. Therefore you are full of offsprings and wealth. Therefore you are healthy and prosperous. And whosoever worships Vaishvanara becomes healthy and prosperous, and Vedic glory resides in his house. But this Bahula is only the trunk of the Lord. Your trunk would have perished if you had not come here, he told him. Then the fifth person, Budila, he asked him, in what name do you worship the Lord Vaishvanara? Then he replied as Appas, that is the all-pervading Lord. And then Aswati said, the Lord Vaishvanara that you worship is called Rai, or the giver of delight. Therefore you are wealthy and flourishing. Therefore you are healthy and prosperous. And whosoever worships Lord Vaishvanara becomes healthy and prosperous, and Vedic glory resides in his house. But this Rai is only the loins of the Lord, and your loins would have broken if you had not come here. Then finally, he turned to Udalka Runi, who was with these 5 scholars. He said, under what name do you worship the Lord Vaishvanara? He replied, I worship as Prithvi, or the support of the earth. Then Aswati said, the Lord Vaishvanara that you worship is called Pratishtha, the firm foundation. Therefore you stand firm with offspring and cattle. Therefore you are healthy and prosperous. And whosoever worships Lord Vaishvanara becomes healthy and prosperous, and Vedic glory resides in his house. But this Pratishtha is only the feet of the Lord. Your feet would have been given away if you had not come to me. Then he said to all 6 of them, now you all, knowing Lord Vaishvanara, eat food, but he also, he who worships this Lord Vaishvanara is the size of the heart, and at the same time, as the limitless Lord, it's food in all worlds, it's food in all wings, and it's food in all selves. Therefore, certainly, this Lord Vaishvanara is the good energy of thought, and he is seeing everybody, and his breath is moving. His trunk is the space containing all, and his loins are the giver of enjoyment, and his feet are the earth. His chest is the altar, his hairs are the grass, his heart is fire, and his mind is also fire, and his mouth is also fire. And at the time of eating, he told all the 6 of them, the first morsel that you take should be considered as a homo offering, and you should chant the mantra pranaya swaha. And the second morsel, when you take, you should chant vayanaya swaha. And the third morsel, when you take, you should say apanaya swaha. And the fourth morsel, you should say samanaya swaha. And the fifth oblation, you should say udhanaya swaha. Now he said, he who offers an agnihotra without knowing this Lord Vaishvanara is like someone who removes the live and offers liberation on dead ashes. But he who offers an agnihotra knowing this Supreme Lord is in fact the Supreme Lord. He offers oblations to all the souls. This is what he said. And thereafter, let us go to point number 2. Some say, what is the genuine doubt about this? Now the genuine doubt, the core question arises, the identity of Atman and the relationship between Vaishvanara and fire, with the term encompassing multiple meanings, digestion, Agni, Vishnu. Now there are various doubts have come up. Therefore, we want to know who is the correct, what is the correct interpretation of this Vaishvanara. Because ultimately, as you know, Vyasadeva says Vaishvanara is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now in the Smriti Shastra, in Chandogya Upanishad, it says very, very clearly, Kotu Atma King Brahmati. Who is this Atma? Who is this Supreme Personality of Godhead? And also in other Upanishads, it says, you know about Vaishvanara, please describe him. And it also says in Chandogya Upanishad, one who meditates on this Lord Vaishvanara, who is of the size of the distance between the thumb and the forefinger, and who is present in all worlds, in all elements, and in all hearts, its food and is nourished. Now you see all these descriptions given in the Shastra, they are applicable only to the Supreme Lord. They cannot be to anybody else because they cannot perform all these activities. Then the heaven is the head of Vaishvanara, the sun is his eye, the wind is the breath, the sky is the body, the oceans are his bladder, the earth is his feet. Like this, all the descriptions are given, and therefore, is Vaishvanara the fire of digestion, the demigod Agni, the fire element, or Lord Vishnu? Now, Purva Paksha, antithesis. Now, the opposite party, what they have to say? The ambiguity of Vaishvanara complicates its interpretation in the Upanishadic discourse, leading to difficulties in grasping the precise significance. It is what it's saying. Now, this word Vaishvanara is commonly used in all these four meanings. So, its meaning in this passage is unclear. That's what Purva Paksha is saying. Now, what about Siddhanta? What Vyasadeva has to say? Vyasadeva says Vaishvanara is understood to embody the divine comprehensive nature, urging seekers to recognize unity amid diverse manifestations. Thus, everyday actions become sacred practices, promoting a deeper spiritual understanding and connection with the divine. We'll see this in very great detail in these 9 verses. Now, what is the conclusion? What is coming? Now, Vaishvanara, whether it is cosmic fire, whether it is digestive fire, whether it is sacrificial fire, whether it is fire of life or consciousness, all these things are coming. Now, what Baladev Vidyabhusana in his commentary in Givind Bhasya, what he has to say, that how come Vaishvanara here refers to Lord Vishnu? Now, the qualities described here are appropriate only for the Supreme Lord and not for the demigod Agni or anybody else. And this is the meaning of Vaishvanara. Now, then it also gives the description heaven is his head. It clearly shows that Vaishvanara here means Lord Vishnu, because Lord Vishnu's the head is the heaven. Sipsasmo pada. Therefore, in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, there is a verse, it says that from the head of the gigantic form, that is, the heavenly planets were manifested, and from his legs, the earthly planets, and from his abdomen, the sky separately manifested themselves. That's why the description in the Shastras say, he is the Supreme Lord. And also, there are various terms used like Atma and Brahma. They also generally refer to Vishnu. The result one obtains by knowing Vaishvanara is the same as the result of knowing Lord Vishnu or Krishna. Now, the scriptures say that as the reeds are burned by fire, the sins are also burned by Vaishvanara. And this clearly shows that Vaishvanara here is Lord Vishnu. For only Lord Vishnu has the power to negate sins and nobody else. The word Vaishvanara is composed of two words. Vishwa, that is all, and Nara means human beings. Thus it means he who is the resting place of all human beings. Therefore, he cannot be a demigod or anybody else. He has to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And for all these reasons, Vaishvanara must indicate Lord Vishnu and nobody else. Because there is another verse in the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. It says that I offer my obeisances to him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is all pervading, he is all inclusive form of the universe as well as its spiritual master. Okay, let us go to the next slide. Okay. Out of the 9 sutras, let us study the first sutra, that is the 25th sutra, ambiguity of Vaishvanara. Now, I am reading the meaning only. The ambiguous word Vaishvanara in this passage of Chandogya Upanishad refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead because the qualities described here are appropriate for the Lord. The qualities which I have also described in some way, they belong to the Supreme Lord and not to anybody else. It cannot be applicable to anybody else. The term Vaishvanara has multiple meanings, including the cosmic fire and Lord Vishnu. The qualities attributed to Vaishvanara align with Vishnu, encouraging meditation on his on this form for spiritual benefits. And also given in the Srimad Bhagavatam 3.6.27, reinforcing the cosmic aspect of the Lord. What 3.6.27 says? He says, therefore, from the head of the gigantic form, the heavenly planets were manifested, and from his legs, the earthly planets got manifested, and from his abdomen, the sky separately manifested, and within them, the demigods and others also were manifested in terms of the modes of material nature. Now, since the demigods, they were formed from this Supreme Lord, this demigods cannot be the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the conclusion is Vaishvanara denotes Lord Vishnu, emphasizing liberation through this understanding. If we understand this, then one will get liberated. Because as yesterday also we are talking, liberation can be given by the Supreme Lord himself only, not by anybody else. Though under some circumstances, Lord Shiva also has been given this responsibility. Okay, let us go to the next sutra, that is 26. 26 says, this may also be inferred from the statements of the Shruti Shastra. We'll see where all it is given. That is, Vaishvanara should be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is as per the Shruti Shastra. The authority of Smriti text, particularly the Bhagavad Gita, further affirms Vaishvanara as the Supreme Lord, that is Lord Vishnu. And inference from scripture is then highlighted as the attributes of Vaishvanara align with those of the Supreme Lord. We'll see them a little more. And scriptural support, Bhagavad Gita 15:14, confirming divinity. That the verse which I uttered in the very beginning, which is given in the Bhagavad Gita. And the conclusion is, the sutra reinforces Vaishvanara's identity through authoritative text, dismissing lesser interpretations. Now let us try to understand what we said. This is inferred in the statements of the Smriti Shastra. Now, which Smriti Shastra? First is Bhagavad Gita. Aham Vaishvanara Bhutva Praninam Deham Asrita. there. What is being said? I am the Vaishvanara in the bodies of all living entities. Now you say, you see what we spoke of the digestive fire. Now that digestive fire is not the Supreme Lord, but this digestive fire has been given by whom? It is given by the Supreme Lord only. Like if we say we are seeing with our eyes, but these eyes are material. These have no power. This power of eyes has been given by the Supreme Lord. It has to be understood that way. That means this what is said here, Praninam Deham Asrita, that means this Vaishvanara in the bodies of all living entities is the Supreme Lord only. And in these words of the Smriti Shastra, it affirms that Vaishvanara is the Lord Vishnu and nobody else. And from this statement, it may also be understood that Vaishvanara, in which we referred in the Chandogya Upanishad, it is Lord Vishnu only and nobody else. Now, he refutes the idea that Vaishvanara refers to the fire of digestion. Now, let us go to the next sutra. That is 27th. It is a big sutra, a long sutra. It is said, if it is said that Vaishvanara here cannot be Lord Vishnu, because many words here refute this idea, and because the Vaishvanara which is said here to reside in the heart, then I say no, because the teaching of the scriptures that one should meditate on Lord Vishnu in the heart, and this in this way, because it is not possible to interpret the word here to mean anything else, and because the text here describes the Vaishvanara as a person with a human-like form. And what is that human-like form? It is Lord Vishnu only. We'll go into a little more detail after we see what is in the slide. Now this addresses objections to Vaishvanara as mere fire, affirming that meditation on Vishnu is the in the heart is true Vaishvanara. Then what about what we have learnt earlier? It is fire only, fire also. But with that, it is only for meditation purposes. It is not, the fire god is not the Supreme Lord. And it is done for meditation only, not for anything else. Its human-like attributes therefore support the interpretation of the Lord rather than a mere element. Now the scriptural support, Satapatha Brahmana, emphasizing human-like form, and conclusion reinforces the need for a cohesive interpretation of Vaishvanara as Lord Vishnu. We'll go through this. Now here, one may object that Vaishvanara here cannot be Lord Vishnu because this is Vaishvanara fire, as you found in Bhagavad Gita. Because these words, they prove that Vaishvanara here means fire, then it is also given that Garhapatya fire is also his heart, and there is some other fire which is his mind, there is some other fire which is his mouth. They represent the Vaishvanara as a group of these three fires. Now, Vaishvanara is fire and not Vishnu, because Vaishvanara is said to be the resting place of prana, and again, because the Vedas say Vaishvanara stays within the heart of the living entity. And this is what is the objection. Now, what is the answer? Now, here the Sutra answers this objection by saying that if it is said that Vaishvanara is fire, then it will not be true. Why? Because the teaching of the scriptures is that one should meditate on the Supreme Lord Vishnu in the heart in this way only. This is what is told and not the other way. because it is not possible to interpret the word here to mean anything else other than what I have spoken. And because the text here describes that Vaishvanara is a person with a human-like form. The Supreme Lord Vishnu or Krishna, he has also got a human-like form, but that is totally transcendental, and our body is totally material. Now, what are the other explanations? Now, it is not possible to interpret the word Vaishvanara to mean anything other than Lord Vishnu, because the text in the Upanishads say that heaven is the head of Vaishvanara and the other parts of the world are other parts of the body of Vaishvanara. And in this Satapatha Brahmana, it says that he who knows Agni Vaishvanara, who has a human-like form and who stays in the hearts of the living entities, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if the word Vaishvanara here is interpreted as fire, then the explanation here becomes Vaishvanara resides in the hearts of all living entities, but not the statement that Vaishvanara has a human-like form. Now, if Vaishvanara is interpreted to mean Lord Vishnu, then both statements may be easily accepted. Next, what is refuted? Vaishvanara means either the demigod Agni or the element of fire. And for this, we have to go to the next sutra. Now, what is this sutra? That is Sutra 28. It says, for the same reason, Vaishvanara is neither the demigod Agni nor the element of fire. Now, point number 2, Vaishvanara cannot be identified with Agni. Rather, descriptions of Agni are poetic praise, not ontological evidence. And this distinction emphasizes Vaishvanara's divine nature. That is, Vaishvanara is the Supreme Lord. Vaishvanara is Lord Vishnu only. And the scriptural support, there is a verse from Rig Veda which is quoted. It says, illustrating the limitations of equating Vaishvanara with Agni. Now, you cannot compare the demigod Agni with the Supreme Lord, because the qualities are far different. And Agni, for his power, he depends on Lord Vishnu only. It is not his own. Now, in conclusion, reinforces Vaishvanara as a divine entity. Therefore, this is divine, not material. Agni is a material entity, but Vaishvanara is a divine entity. That's why we are saying he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Lord Vishnu, transcending elemental interpretations. Now, let us speak about this little further. Now, here, what was the objection? Because demigod Agni is very powerful and very great, and it may be said that heaven is his head and the other parts of the world are parts of his body, and the same may also be said of the fire element. We can say the same. But what does this Rig Veda verse say? The Rig Veda verse says that Agni, in his form of the sun, is spread through the earth, heaven, and everything between. Now, even if it is said, still we have to say no. Why? Because the Sutra says that for the reason already given, Vaishvanara is neither demigod Agni nor the element of fire. Now, the words of this mantra in Rig Veda, they are flattery only. And in the opinion of Jaimini, the word Agni may also directly mean the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just as the word Vaishvanara does. Okay, let us go Okay. Okay, now we'll have a 2-3 minutes break, and in which you may ask questions or put forward your comments. Now you saw in how simple words here Baladev Vidyabhusana is explaining the very, very complex thing, and the meanings are very, very clear at the end only.
It's interesting how I like, as always, the whole communication. It has been put together in the very systematic way, right? So that you mentioned, okay, how the speaker himself saying the argument and then also solving it. Like in this case, how demigod Agni is not Vaishvanara. That also is. Yeah. So it's going interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, Prabhuji, nicely you gave a good analogies. I think good context. I think that was very nice. This is a little bit of a complicated that 2-3 slokas sutras we are taking, and either we are finding out commonalities or something, but it's a diverse subject. Like one is inside the fire, then fire god, and then it talks about the head and all those things. Different attributes. But at the end, how Baldev Vidyabhushan ji is considering all those components, but he's connecting with the Lord at the end. He's connecting. I think that's what he's doing. It cannot be elements. It cannot be a demigod. It cannot be any creation or those localized words. Even those Upanishad talks about different words, different definition of Vishunara in a different context. But the higher meaning only fits the description of Supreme Personality of the Godhead. How he is narrowing down, so nice, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yes, here what is happening? Ultimately, it is teaching us to see the Supreme Lord everywhere. And if that becomes true in our lifetime, then we will be most successful. It is not that we see the Lord in the temple where the deity is there worshipped. It has to be seen everywhere in the creation of the Supreme Lord. Like here we saw in fire, it is there. In digestive fire, the Supreme Lord is there. In consciousness, it is there. The Supreme Lord is there. Supreme Lord is everywhere. What we lack is we do not see the Supreme Lord in everything and everybody. If this were so, then there would not have been fights and wars in this material world to win over each other. I hope everybody has understood what we spoke till now.
Yes, Prabhuji.
One word I'll add and then let's go. So you say first he says it's a fire. At the same text, it's the breath also he's talking about, right? Prana. Two things are clubbed over there. That Bhagavad Gita's context it gives. So how they are one part is a fire, burning, digestion is one part. At the same time also it talks about the breath. So how it is connecting, right? So two different meanings. So we have to deep dive and see that connection. That's what I was understanding also, Prabhuji.
Okay, it is, we are talking about the prana, apana, bayana, udana, samana, which I spoke in the very beginning, what King Aswapati was describing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So that is the
King Ashwapati.
Regarding these 5 years, at the end, I'll also tell you in very brief. I hope you understood because it has been covered in so many classes earlier also. What is their role? And remember, anything and everything happening in our material body, like we are seeing, we are hearing, we are doing work, everything, that thing is coming from whom? It is from the Supreme Lord. And when the Paramatma leaves the body, then the same body is there. The eyes are there, ears are there, nose is there, mouth is there. but they are not able to do anything. It is that means everything is being given by the Supreme Lord only, and nobody else.
Yeah, you Prabhuji, just again to give a little, the prana goes, the vayu goes, along with it, all the senses and the connection also get lost, right? We saw one of the sutra previously, right?
Yes, that
Yeah.
when the Supreme Lord leaves, the Paramatma leaves the body, then everything goes.
Prabhuji, that king, he tells everyone that if you had not come here, you would have been destroyed, you would have lost. What does that imply?
What?
You know, the king, he is answering to the sixth question.
Okay, yes.
At the end of every answer, he says, okay, if you had not come here, you would have lost this ability.
Yes.
What does that mean? What does that imply?
He is trying to remind them that aspect is so important. You have not understood it. Ultimately, in all these cases, he said Vaishvanara is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the Supreme Lord. But if you do not understand, then you will lose your eyes, you will lose your this thing, that thing. That's what is the general meaning.
Good. Okay, thank you.
Whatever you are worshipping has no meaning if you don't connect with that. That's what he was, you are dead beyond that, right? That he was explaining.
The very crux comes to, we have to first accept the Supreme Lord is a person. We have got a connection with him, and we should establish that connection which has been lost. We are already connected, but it has been broken due to some reason in between. That has to be established. Okay, then we go to the next sutra, that is 29. Okay, Sutra 29. Sakshad apiya virodham Jaimini. Jaimini has to say, Jaimini is of the opinion that the word Agni may be interpreted to directly mean the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is saying it very, very clearly. There is no confusion here. And there is no inconsistency in this. That's what Jaimini had to say. Now, Jaimini Rishi's view supports the direct identification of Agni with the Supreme Lord and not with the demigod Agni. This is very clear. And in this regard, the etymology of Vaishvanara and Agni suggests divine significance. And in conclusion, validates interpretations of Vaishvanara and Agni as a reference to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, let us know a little more about this. Just as the word Vaishvanara is interpreted to mean either the leader, that is Nara, or the world Vaishvanara, I said it is divided into two parts, Vaishva and Nara. I am saying Nara Vaishva, or the proprietor of all human beings in this universe. Now, this Vaishvanara is the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the original cause of all causes. And in the same way, the word Agni can be interpreted to mean he is the leader of all. This is also a name of Lord Vishnu. Now, Jaimini Muni considers that there is no contradiction at all in these interpretations because they are based on the specific meaning of each word's component parts. Now, the objector may say, how can the limitless Supreme Personality of Godhead become the size of the distance between the thumb and the forefinger, as Vaishvanara is said to be in the passage in the Upanishad? Now, this question will be answered in the next verse, that is verse 30. Let us go to verse 30. Now, what verse 30 says? Verse 30 says, Asmaratya is of the opinion, that is a rishi, he is of the opinion that the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in this way. Which way? a size, the distance between the thumb and the forefinger, because he manifests himself in the heart of his devotee. How can he stay in the heart? He has to become small. That's why he is saying. And the Supreme Lord can manifest in a form accessible to devotees. If he has got a universal form, he is billions and billions of kilometers or miles long, then it cannot be easily accessible by the devotees, by us. Therefore, enhancing meditation, this he becomes very small for enhancing meditation. That is what is being said. And proper understanding of this manifestation leads to spiritual realization. We have to understand this. Then what is the scriptural support? Svetasvatara Upanishad 3:12 to 13, confirming presence within the hearts. I'll speak about this also. Now, in conclusion, highlights the intimate relationship between the divine and the devotees. The Lord stays in the heart of the devotees, in the body of the devotees, in a small form in which the devotee can meditate upon him. Now, here what is happening, Lord Vishnu appears in this way in the hearts of his devotees, not only devotees, non-devotees also, who have the eyes to see him. The devotees have eyes to see him. The non-devotees, they do not have the eyes to see him, but still he is there. And this is the opinion of this Rishi. And we are talking of the verse, the two verses from Svetasvatara Upanishad. Now, what is the meaning of that? Now, it means the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or Lord Vishnu, whom we are saying. And in the Sandarbhas, we have learned, Jiva Goswami has made it very, very clear that what Vishnu we are talking is same as Krishna. He is none other than Krishna. Now, we are talking about this Supreme Lord. He becomes the Purusa to initiate the expansion of this universe, the cosmos. And he is perfectly, and that is the pure goal of the yogis. The yogis that strive to reach this Supreme Person, who is effulgent, who is infallible, Achyuta, and ultimate controller. There is no greater controller than him. He controls anything and everything in this complete creation, not only in the universe, but in a multitude of universes. And what is his size? Though he creates multitude of these universes, still his size is measuring the size of a thumb. Now the Purusa is always present as the super soul within the hearts of all living beings. And by exercising proper intelligence, one can realize him within the heart. And those who learn this method will gain immortality. More of this we'll see after the next slide, that is after 31. I will give another example from Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, 31. Now, what it says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is thought to be this small size because that conception is very convenient for meditation. And this is the opinion of Badari, that is Badarayana. Okay, what is the meaning? This size of the Supreme Lord is so small because it is suitable for meditation. Now, Badri Muni emphasizes that the Lord's small size aids meditation, and this intimate representation in turn fosters personal connection. If we are able to meditate, that means in our mind we will bring that form, then there will be personal connection between us and the Supreme Lord. What is the scriptural support? Various Upanishads will see align the heart's connection with the divine, and in conclusion illustrates how practical representations enhance meditation. Now, because the Supreme Lord is meditated as residing in the heart of all living beings. And because the heart itself is the size of the distance between thumb and the forefinger, the Lord is thought to be the size of distance between thumb and forefinger also. Now I come to that example from Srimad Bhagavatam. Now when Parikshit Maharaj was in the womb of his mother Uttara, and he was suffering from the burning heat of the Brahmastra, which was thrown by Aswasthama, he could observe the Supreme Lord coming to him. And in which size we'll see. Now we know that death generally involves remaining in trance for 7 months, and a living being, according to his own action, is allowed into the womb of a mother by the vehicle of a father semina, and thus develops his desired body. Now this is the law of birth. Now when he is awake from trance, he feels the inconvenience being confined within the womb, and thus he wants to come out of it, and sometimes he prays to the God or Supreme Lord for liberation. Now Maharaj Parikshit, while in the womb of his mother, was struck by the Brahmastra of Aswatthama, and he was feeling the burning heat. But because he was a devotee of the Lord at once appeared himself within the womb by his all-powerful energy, and the child could see that someone else had come to save him. And even in that helpless condition, the child Parikshit endured the unbearable temperature of the Brahmastra due to his being a fighter by nature, and for this reason he is praised. Now, how Krishna manifested himself in the womb of Uttara? Krishna manifested as a brilliant four-armed form measuring exactly the size of a thumb, holding a mace to neutralize the weapon's intense heat and protect the unborn Parikshit Maharaj. Now that means the Lord can become so small also. Such a Lord who creates multitudes of universes which emanate from the pores of his body, that Supreme Person can become such small also. And as we learned, what is the purpose of that? The purpose is for helping us in meditating on Him and establishing personal relationship with the Supreme Lord. Then let us go to the next slide and see the Sutra 32. Sutra 32, what it says, this is also said by Jaimini, the Supreme Personality of Godhead can assume this very small size because of his transcendental powers and opulences. He has got all the power, he can do anything and everything. That's why he can become, can assume this small form also. And this is the opinion of Jaimini. It is known that the Supreme Personality of Godhead assumes this very small size because Shruti Shastra reveals this information. Now, point number 2, the Lord can manifest in a small form because of his inconceivable potencies, inconceivable energy. He can do anything and everything, and this is nothing difficult for him. And this complexity therefore invites reflection on divine nature. Now, the scriptural support, the cited passages emphasizing the Lord's multiplicity of forms. He can take any form, he can become a fish, he can become a boar, he can become Nrsingadev, half man, half lion. He can do anything and everything because he has got inconceivable powers. In conclusion, confirms the Supreme capacity for simultaneous attributes. Simultaneously, he can be big also, small also. Now here, what we spoke, the Supreme Lord can become the size of the distance between the thumb and the forefinger because of his transcendental opulence in the form of inconceivable energies. Now, this action does not limit or restrict the Lord in any way. Therefore, what Jaimini had to say, he said that it is known that the Supreme Lord assumes this very small form, the size, because the Shruti Shastra reveals this information. Now, the Shruti Shastra said, Ekam Govindam Satchidananda Vigraham. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Govinda, whose transcendental form is eternal and it is full of knowledge. Also, he is one, that is the Supreme Lord manifest as many. And in this way, the Shruti Shastra teaches that many contradictory qualities are simultaneously present in the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his inconceivable energies, potencies. And some of these contradictory qualities are that even though he is himself he has got all transcendental knowledge, he still has got a body. And even though he is one, he is also many. And this will be explained in detail later in the Sutras and Adhikarna. And we should remember that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is simultaneously all-pervading and of a small size also. There is no fault in saying this. This is a correct statement. And let us go to the last sutra for today's class. 33. 33 says, what the Arthavanikas say this of him. The Arthavanikas means acknowledge the Lord's inconceivable powers, and these diverse interpretations do not contradict each other, rather they complement one another. What we have studied till now, they are not contradictory, but they are complementary. Now, what is the scriptural support? We will see that in detail. But in Kaivalya Upanishad and Srimad Bhagavatam, affirm that the Lord has divine qualities. And in conclusion, highlights the unity in diversity regarding the Supreme's nature. Now, here, what the students of Athapa Veda they are saying, they declare that this inconceivable potency is present in the Supreme Lord. This is given in the Kaivalya Upanishad. And the Lord says that although I have no hands or feet, I still have inconceivable potencies. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, what it says, my dear Lord, although personally you have nothing to do, you have distributed your energies in the interactions of the material modes of nature. And for that reason, the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the universe, of the cosmic manifestation takes place. And my dear Lord, you are self-determined and you are the Supreme Lord for all living entities. And for them, you created this material manifestation. And although you see you are one, your diverse energies can act multifariously. And this is inconceivable to us. We cannot understand this. And these different opinions actually do not contradict each other. Because it is also given in another place. The other sages that take up small portions broken from the vast sky of Vyasadeva's opinions and they try to misinterpret. Therefore, there are confusions and not otherwise. Okay, we see the last slide of today, an overview of all these 9 sutras which we studied from 25 to 33. Now the sutras explore the nature of Supreme Personality of Godhead, focusing on accessible forms for meditation and in turn the inconceivable potencies of the divine. These words are very, very meaningful and self-explanatory. All the things what we studied, they are for meditation purposes And this can happen because the Supreme Lord has all the potencies. And what are the common denominators of all these verses? The Lord has inconceivable energy. Central to these teachings is the Lord's ability to manifest in forms that seem limited while retaining his infinite essence. Even though he takes a human-like form, it seems he has got limited power, but he has got unlimited power. That's why the 6 days baby Krishna, he was able to kill Putana with no efforts. Like this, he killed so many demons without using any weapon during his stay in Vrindavan. Now, the accessibility for devotional practices. The sutras show how the Lord's manifestations support personal connection and meditation. That we saw in very great detail. The Lord wants to have a personal connection with the devotee. That's why he is doing like this, linking doctrine with lived experience. Now, scriptural validation. Each sutra cites authoritative text to support its interpretation. We saw many of them. And what are the diverse perspectives? Different sages, they also offer different interpretations that enrich the tradition, showing that diverse views can coexist harmoniously. And the fifth point, meditation is a central theme. The practical implications of these teachings in meditation practices reveal the interplay between personal experience and theological doctrine. Now, interconnectedness, how the sutras are interconnected with each other. Together, the sutras trace the trajectory
Seems we lost probably. Or is it just me?
Yes, no noise, Prabhu.
Let
No
me try
voice.
calling.
It's almost over anyway. Let's
Prabhu?
read it ourselves. What is interconnected? Together, the sutras traces a trajectory. What does trajectory means? Something that what you say, the larger perspectives, larger meanings come through that from the very way it is projected, So trajectory from identifying Vaishvanara with divine attributes to recognize the Supreme's multifaceted. So you see that the Supreme Being can have so many varieties of different varieties that can see that capacities, culminating in the acknowledgement of diverse interpretations as complementary rather than contradictory.
There is a
So
power
all
loss
those
at
seemingly contradictions that you see, they are all can be explained rationally. What is the final conclusion? The collective analysis of Sutra 25 to 33 invites further exploration to how these teachings can be communicated in a contemporary devotional context. So, when you are engaged in bhakti process, all these seemingly complex things can be understood. But if you are in a devotional mood, in Bhagavad Gita also the same thing is given, that the people who are not devotees, for them it's very difficult to understand, because so many seemingly contradictory things are happen present in the Supreme Being, and the people will quickly asking questions. How is it possible? But if you're in devotional mode, they will understand that Supreme Being is capable of doing anything and everything. So fostering means supporting a deeper understanding of spiritual practices and the nature of the divine. So more and more we are learning about the Supreme Being's capabilities and his qualities. Haribo. I think that was the last slide.
Yeah, Prabhuji just lost power. He will be joining shortly. They have a power issue.
Thank you very much. Because of a power supply problem, I just got disconnected. Now, what we are showing the interconnectedness, the sutras that trace a trajectory from identifying Vaishvanara with divine attributes to recognizing the Supreme's multifaceted nature, culminating in the acknowledgement of diverse interpretations as complementary rather than contradictory. We saw they are not contradictory at all, but they are supporting each other. Now, in conclusion, the collective analysis of Sutras 25 to 33 invite further exploration into how these teachings can be communicated in the contemporary devotional context, fostering a deeper understanding of scriptural practices and the nature of the divine. This is all, but since 5 minutes still left, I promised I'll tell you about these 5 vayus, that is prana, apana, samana, udana, bayana, how they work in our body and how they are connected. Now this prana vayu, it governs the inward and upward movement, and it is centered in the chest, and it controls breathing, intake of energy, and overall vitality. Apana vayu governs the downward and outward movement, and it is located in the pelvis, and it controls elimination, reproduction, and immune systems, immune functions. And Samana vayu governs inward movement to the center. Now it is located in the navel region, and it manages digestion and the assimilation of nutrients and energy. And Udana vayu, it governs upward movement. It is centered in the throat, and it is responsible for communication, speech, growth, and self-expression. And Vayana vayu, it governs outward movement from the center to the periphery. It pervades the whole body, and it manages blood circulation and the movement of muscles and joints. And this is how, in that context, this is very, very important. And all these powers, they are given none other than by the Supreme Lord only. And when he leaves, all these things, they also leave the body. The subtle body also leaves the body. So with this, I have come to the end of today's class, that is end of lesson 17 and 18. Now, if you have got any questions or you have got any comments, you are most welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Yeah,
Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. So wonderful class, Prabhuji. So wonderfully explain each and every connectedness of all sutras and all. मतलब हमें ये समझना है कि अगर वायु अग्निदेव जो है वो उनमें थोड़े पावर है, मगर इट इज ऑल्सो डिपेंड, ही इज ऑल्सो डिपेंड ऑन लॉर्ड. एवरीथिंग इज डिपेंड ऑन लॉर्ड. सर्व कारण कारण भगवान सब में है. वो जो हमारा श्लोक है, ईश्वर परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंद सर्व कारण कारण. तो ये हमें बराबर समझ में आता है कि कैसे कनेक्ट करते हैं एक एक चीज से, कॉन्टेक्स्ट से और स्क्रिप्चर एविडेंस से. तो रियली हमें बहुत ही हमारा जो लिमिटेड नॉलेज है वो और बढ़ेगा प्रभु जी बाय दिस. So we are so thankful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yes, and because of avidya, we try to think that like somebody will think he has become very knowledgeable, he has done this qualification, he has done this service, he has been honored by so, and all these, everything is happening by the wish of the Supreme Lord only. And part of it is dependent on our past karma also. So everything is interdependent. Nothing is contradictory at all. And knowing that, we should have total faith on the Supreme Lord. We should be totally surrendered. There should be saranagati. what we have been talking. That means we should depend on the Lord, because we should realize that everything, anything and everything which is happening is because of the Supreme Lord. But at the same time, we should do our own duty, what we are supposed to do. It is not that we will sit idle and think the Lord will come and feed me and the Lord will do everything. No, we should do our own duty, but know very well that we are dependent on the Supreme Lord. There should be no doubt about it.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Any other comment or question on what we learned today?
So you all understood that meaning of Vaishvanara, it could be the digestion power, the fire of digestion. It could be the fire itself in overall. So all these different meanings are there. What exactly Vaishvanara means, that is what is explained in this group of sutras. Correct, Prabhuji.
Any other question? If
Hare
no
Krishna,
questions,
Prabhuji.
then I'll okay, Prabhuji, yes.
No, so we need to at least visit once more and see that the way you explained everything is so interesting. So many things. I think this should have been two lessons, but we put together on that, and many things were there. You gave a lot of details. I will go revisit, listen once again carefully, understand. But it is interesting. Thank you, Prabhuji. So nice.
What I've done in the original PowerPoints that I made, it was many slides were there.
Yes.
Basically a lot of descriptive, but to be able to understand that way. But then in a given class, it could not be done. That's why I put all the descriptive part. I removed it and straight facts that I've given you here.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
in many
Thank
ways
you.
that you hear about the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, it sounds kind of unbelievable, right? And why we think like that? Because we think from our perspective. We cannot do it. So how is it possible? But we have to understand that he is the supreme being, and only through devotional mood, bhaktya mam abhijanati. So all seemingly contradictory things and such a wide spectrum of things, abilities, capacities that is there present in the Supreme Lord, all this cannot make a sense unless and until you are in the devotional mood. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Because the Lord himself will make us understand that.
I think, Prabhuji,
but we have to make an effort, like Radhavinod Prabhu just now mentioned, right? That when you first time when you hear, it becomes difficult, but you go back and go through again and think about it, and then you'll understand everything.
So, Prabhuji, I was just saying, I think second canto, Locke talks of initially the material egg was created, and then different components and all. He has desired to hungry. Then different components are created. It talks about the Bhagavatam. He has this desire, he has that desire, and then hunger, thirst. Yeah, you see that?
Yes, Prabhu.
Right, and then he created that. If you read that, at least you goes into the different components. How the Lord, He is the creator of everything. It is not that Brahma did everything. He created all these components, like He created engine, He created other filters, He created, and then somebody assembled it. We talk about Brahma's role. So you see that second there. Again, various components are connected here. Connecting various components are described and connected with the Lord so nicely. So there's no contradiction. So very nice. It gives a really good and feeling more. Nothing exists beyond the Lord. Everything is within Him. We should understand and don't try to scratch more head to, is there anything else? Nothing is there, right? So nice on that. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Then I'll request all of you please go through these slides before the class so that understanding will be much more. And after the class also just take 10 minutes or so, go through them so that the complete thing will be assimilated in a much better manner.
In our recap session, more things will become easier to understand. Everything will be explained. So in recap session is very, very important.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. A
Krishna.
question, Prabhuji, like how you said that Lord is, you explained prana, apana, all this, and how Lord is situated in the heart. So when we are doing devotional service or when we are chanting, that time they say that we can chant in any, like wherever you are, you can chant. That is fine. But when you want to concentrate on the Lord, when we want to meditate, then we should meditate on Him in our heart, right? In our heart chakra. That is the right way?
Well, we are in Gaudiya Vaishnava system, we are not doing any yogic practice. But at the same time, we should concentrate on the Supreme Lord. When we are chanting the name of the Lord, we should concentrate on His form, His qualities, His Leela, like this. And not try to concentrate like the yogis, because those methods are different. We do not have access to them, and that is not required to be done. It is only we should think of the Lord, we should think of His qualities, we should think of His Dhamma, we should think of His Leelas. That's all. And we should do. And it will happen in almost 100% of the times. The mind will run away, but bring it back again and again. That is our only job. And the rest, the Lord
So
will
we
do.
need to do chanting and devotional scriptures. All these courses are being conducted to further facilitate our understanding. Okay.
Like why we are reading all these scriptures? We have gone in so much detail in this Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and so many other courses, 25, 30 of them, Jal Prabhuji has taught us. Why? This is to remember the Lord and remember the last examination of us, Ante Narayana Smriti. If we are able to do that, we have passed the examination. If we have failed, then we are given another chance. Like this, till this lifetime, we have been given millions and billions of chances. Let us take this chance and pass the examination.
Not only that, Ante Narayana Smriti is not only on our effort alone. If we are really sincere in a surrendering mood, then the Lord Himself makes sure that we remember Him at our last moments. That also our scriptures point out. Isha Upanishad points out that Lord Himself makes sure that we will remember Him.
Okay. So we just have to absorb ourselves in His discussion,
Total
glorification, reading.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
And how the Lord showed Himself to us, in various stages. And none of them are illusory. Like the first one, the Lord will be seen by you in the dream. Don't think that is unreal, that is totally real. Then in your dhyana, when you are doing dhyana, the Lord Himself will show Himself for the fraction of a second, like how He did to Narada Muni when he was a small boy. And next, He will show Himself physically in front of us. But that's not all. The last and final thing is that we have to see the Lord in every creation of the universe. So these are the various, the 4 stages of how the Lord will show Himself to us, to the devotee.
And all these things, further facilitation takes place by Sadhu Sangha and Guru's mercy. So scriptures are there. We need to hear, and through our Acharya's commentaries, all things become easier to understand then, and by the Lord's mercy. So Lord's mercy is flowing through these advanced devotees.
Any other question or comment?
All these PowerPoints I prepared, it was, I also went through all these stages, difficulty, but then I found out the common thread right from beginning sutras, all the way going to this 558 sutras. I could see the common thread. Then it was all downhill job actually. It was not difficult. Just like I tell you that this 4 ways the Adhikarnas are explained. Adhikarana means they are the topics. Each of the topics they are explained, like what is the Vishaya, what is the topmost issue here, what are the possible doubts, and even the opponent, the Purvapaksha, that serves as a devil's advocate from the opposition view, and seemingly as if it makes sense because they quote all the scriptures, So and then the final Siddhanta is given by Srila Vyasadeva. Okay, so that is a common topics, and then the sutras come. Each of the topics, whatever is given, then that is further proved through actual sutras. Sutras further expand the topic. So this is the common thread like that is there throughout 558 sutras, and varieties of subject matter are being introduced to us all the way to the end. Haribo.
Thank you,
Any
Prabhuji.
further questions,
Thank you,
comments?
Prabhuji.
Any other question or comments? We are
It's
coming.
a wonderful transition, right? We've seen from all the different Adhikarnas, like Akshara is the Lord, what do you call, Vishwanara was today covered, Brahma is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So gradually, I think we are going, as Prabhuji said, that you have to see the Lord everywhere and in all aspects. Pradhana is the Lord. Everything is, there's nothing that can exist without
Separate from
the
him.
Lord, separate or like independent of him. I think that's a key point. So going back to the beginning, how this all started is, as you say, that our sampradaya was challenged of not having a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, or not having a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. But after having read Prabhupada Srimad Bhagavatam, and now this all ties in so well, so nicely. So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Any other comment or question?
And the way how it should be studied, it's very expertly explained, demonstrated by Radha Vinod Prabhuji. How he explains his own understanding, and I'm really amazed the way he does that. We should emulate the way he understood how it should be studied.
Yes, so we have the gents, Sarat Prabhu, now Radha Vinod Prabhu, Archana Mataji, and then so wonderful Kirtan
and
by
this
Sapta
question
Mataji,
answers,
Raksha. So amazing.
Thank you. So I guess is there any other questions, comments? Rest of you, please participate. Active participation is required to be able to more easily understand. But if you just don't participate, active participation is not there, then it will become very difficult. The rest of you just keep quiet only all the time. Only 2 or 3 people can participate in this. And also I noticed that the attendance is also very poor. Only about 10 to 12 people regularly attend, even though there are more than 20 people have been registered. Half of them are not there. And within the half who are coming regularly, that I appreciate that. But I recommend for active participation. Active participation means asking questions. Whatever that is going through your mind, speak up. And this is a close-knit family, you know. So you don't need to be afraid of that. You don't need to be embarrassed of all these things. So Prabhuji, if that's okay with you, let's conclude the class.
Yes, Prabhuji, we can conclude today's class with the Nrsinga prayers.
Yes, Prabhuji, Dipti Mataji, do you want to do Nrsimha prayers? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you.
Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya, Pralada Lada Daine, Pralada Lada Daine, Hiranyakasipurvakya, Siladankaran Kalai, Ito Nasinga, Parato Nasinga, Ito Nasinga, Parato Nasinga, Yato Yato Yami Tato Nasinga, Bahi Nasinga, Hruday Nasinga, Bahi Nasinga, Hruday Nasinga, Narasingamadi Saranam Prapate, Tava Kara Kamala Bhare, Nakam Adbhuta Sungam, Dalita Hiranyakasyapu Tanubhrungam, Kesavadruta Nararirupa, Jaya Jagadisa Hare, Jaya Jagadisa Hare, Jaya Jagadisa Hare. Jaya Narsingadev, Jaya Narsingadev, Narsingadev, Jaya Narsingadev, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jai Sri Narsingh Mahadev, Jai Sri Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Sri Charu Prabhu ji ki Jai, Jai Sarat Prabhu ji ki Jai, Jai all devotees ki Jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Thank you, Prabhu.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
sir,
Dandavat
Prabhuji,
pranam to all devotees.
Thank you. Dandavat pranam to all.
Haribol, Sanjeev Prabhuji, Sharad Prabhuji. So we meet
Yes,
next
Prabhuji.
week then. Haribol.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol, Bhai.
Yes.